Bringing on our second guest, our last guest, our last game on the slate, the ACC Championship. We're bringing in the Irish Enthusiast. Follow him on Twitter at Irish Enthusiast. His name's Drew DeMumbrum. He is a diehard Notre Dame football fan, and they're going against Clemson. Drew, just give me a little synopsis of the game here.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Nate. Just want to say thank you guys for bringing me on. I'm a huge, huge fan of FanNoise. I think it's great. I think it's great what you guys are doing right now and bringing on hometown people and people from Oakland, people from Plainfield, people from Iowa. I think it's a great thing you guys are doing, and I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Appreciate it.
As far as this ND Clemson game, man, I think the rematch is set for a defensive game. I think it starts with the front seven here. I think Clemson, you're gonna get a defensive tackle back, and you're gonna get two linebackers back, and the strong suit of ND and their offensive line. I think it's going to be a testament to both of these coaches and both of these teams moving forward. I think Clark Lee, the news just broke today that he's gonna be moving on to Vanderbilt. He's a Vanderbilt grad, a hometown Tennessee grad. So I think that's gonna hit home for Notre Dame, and I think he's gonna have these guys. Him and Brian Kelly are gonna have these ND guys ready to go on Saturday versus Clemson.
What do you think the impact of Trevor Lawrence in this game is? I mean, the dude's been absolute flaming ball fire these last
Yeah,
few
I
games.
mean, you can't deny the kid's talent. He's been an absolute phenom since he walked into college football from day one. And I think ND, you can say they had a little break without Trevor Lawrence, but I think DJ played really well, and I still think he is probably a top five quarterback
He's a
in college
beast.
football to this day. So I think Trevor Lawrence is definitely going to be a difference maker with his legs, and I think if ND can slow down ETN again, that we'll be able to, at least hold it close. And I think ND will cover and maybe even win. I think they got him at a plus 300 money line right now. So
I think minus 10, minus 10 and a half spread. I think the key to this game, Drew, is turnovers, because you saw what they did in the first game. They got a defensive touchdown. They were turning the ball over, and the game still went into overtime, and it was high scoring. So, I mean, I have to pick Notre Dame. I will pick Notre Dame, but I'm not worried if they lose this game, because I still think they get into the playoff. The only way I could see them not is if they get blown out, which Notre Dame teams in the past have scared me way more than this team. This team's different because I haven't seen a defense like this in a really long time in Notre Dame. People are comparing it to the 2012 Manti Te'o year, Invisible Girlfriend. But, yeah, like I said, I think Notre Dame is more for real than people think. They're always going to be the hated team in people's eyes. That's why they're minus 10.5. And they might lose this game. I'm going to pick Notre Dame to win. But what does that do for Clemson, Nate, if Notre Dame beats them?
That's too hard for me to predict, because on one hand, I still think that they'd probably put Clemson in ahead of Iowa State, but I don't know that. I mean, you'd be talking about – that's where I was talking about earlier, where it's important if Louisiana Lafayette wins.
Yeah.
For Iowa State. But the thing I'm looking forward to most in this game is seeing – I think you have two of the better game managers in college football, in Trevor Lawrence and Ian Book. And we missed that a little bit in the first one. Like, something I go back to is that you wonder what happens if Trevor Lawrence is in at quarterback when there was a minute 50 left.
Mm-hmm.
And Clemson had a pretty short drive there. ETN ran the ball out of bounds, gave Notre Dame a chance to go down and score and tie up the game. It'll be interesting to see just how the game is different with two guys that don't really turn the ball over, can make plays with their legs, are good game managers, know the systems they're playing. And I think it's going to make for, believe it or not, a more exciting and more fun game as a viewer than the first one, which is baffling to say, because we're talking about an overtime game in the first one, ton of points, but I think you're going to see more strategy. I think you're going to see more, big plays on third down than you saw in the first one. I'm just really excited for the quarterback matchup.
Yeah, Drew, where would you like to see Notre Dame fall in the playoff rankings if they win or lose this game?
Yeah, I mean, as excited as I am for this ACC title game versus Clemson, I would love to see ND play Ohio State. I think I'm still a little bit bitter from that Fiesta Bowl in 06 when my ND fandom started in that Fiesta Bowl. So I think some things to look at for that game too, especially even though it's a hypothetical. I think an Ohio State team in the Big Ten with not a lot of film and not a lot of games played, you can argue that, they may not be conditioned, but they're damn sure they're healthy. And I think they are a force to be reckoned with moving forward. So I'm actually pretty excited to see how this playoff picture shapes out. But I would like to see ND come out on top for once.
Yeah, I mean, I got a video of Drew laying on the ground just in pure satisfaction when they beat Clemson. Because that hasn't. I mean, we get hyped every year for a game like this, and it's always a loss. And they finally pulled it out. It was awesome.
It's not often that you get that satisfaction at the end. And I mean, you watched that last game. It was every possession mattered, back and forth. It was a battle to the end. And even when Ian Book was going in to score, maybe to lock it up, you saw Clemson how resilient they are, man. They force fumbles and turnovers, and every play matters. And I think that's what's gonna come down to again. And if Notre Dame can make those plays on third down like they did and stop that Clemson offense on third down, I think ND will come out with the win again. I mean, it's going to be a good one, and I'm very excited for it. I don't know if I'll be able to rest the whole week, but I'm here for it, and I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, Nate, who are you taking?
I'm going to go against you guys here. I'm going to take Clemson. I think they win the rematch. I think that I kind of alluded to it. I think Trevor Lawrence, maybe not on the pure stat line, but I think in the game management, just in the way Clemson plays the game, I think he makes a bigger difference than what maybe you see on paper. But I think it's a really good football game. It's kind of a pick 'em a coin flip for me. I think Clemson wins in a tight one, and I think there's potential that it sets up. I mean, these are two really good football teams. You could see a round 3 in the national championship, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. That is Drew. It's been a pleasure, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Drew.
Before the video ends, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bar on the YouTube channel so you're the first ones to get notified when videos are posted. And please, we are on all platforms: Apple, Spotify, podcast, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok. I mean, we're on them all. Visit our website, FanNoisesports.com. I think that's everything. Nate, it's been another great one, man. Drew, it's been a pleasure. Nate, you got any words?
No, thanks to Zach and Drew for coming on. A couple big-time fans in a week. You could argue 2 of the biggest games in program history for both programs this weekend, just in terms of the magnitude of it. It's exciting stuff. Happy to have those guys on. Happy to have everybody listening that still continue to listen. We don't really know who you are, but we see the viewers, we see the subscribers. It makes a difference for us. We love seeing it. We'll keep putting out content. We'll keep having fun doing it.
Yeah, Notre Dame, first ACC championship. Here we go. All right, it's been a pleasure. FanNoise out.